So here we are, friends. I'm just checking some very final things before starting this live event. Just checking, for example, that you are listening to correctly this live. Just let me see, let me check that everything is running just fine. Okay. Okay, I see that the coverage is coming, so I'm also opening right now the live feed from the telescope so that really ready to start this new amazing event provided by the Virtual Telescope project. Just let me check again if the system is sending everything to you. Looks good. Okay, I think that we are there basically. So friends, here we are. I think that we are truly ready to go. Let me start this live coverage officially. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Gianluca Masi speaking from the Virtual Telescope. I'm very happy that you are here again after the very huge success with the Comet Sitting Spring and Planet Mars flyby. It was really, I must say, a record breaking for the Virtual Telescope because our live coverage for that event, that is the flyby between Comet Sitting Spring and Mars, was actually viewed by more than 350,000 viewers, and the Virtual provided the most viewed video on YouTube on that topic. So we are very happy and we want to thank you for making that possible. But you know, the sky is always providing something new, and here we are to track and follow another amazing event, that is the asteroid 2014 SC324. That is, I would say, a long name, a long I would say name for an asteroid, but you know, there are so many out there that we really need a way to give a name to them, just to make sure that we recognize each of those asteroids. Okay, here we are. I'm just checking that the telescope is tracking and providing images. As far as I can see, this is happening because you also have, I see, the exact live image coming from the bottom of your screen. So I believe that you are here and ready to go. So let me remind you that this event is hosted at Virtual Telescope, and we want to thank our technological partners, and they are Unitron Italia Instruments, Software Bisque, Bader Planetarium, Santa Barbara Instruments Group, and Plainwave Instruments. And this event is also hosted in partnership with ANSA, Scienza e Tecnica. And that said, let me see what we can actually see so that this will be a worthwhile event for you. As you can see from the star map, we are looking east, going to make possible for you also to see this map. Just give me 1 second, please, to make possible, as I said, for you to see all these things. Before starting every live event, I have to be every time very sure that all is running correctly. And let me share with you as well also the video, friends. Okay, I believe that we are not far from making these shared live. Okay, it has been a long day for me, so I've been hoping all the time that the weather was good, because now we are really in fall here, so it is not obvious at all to have good weather, friends. But I believe that we should have the asteroid. Let me making sure. So let me share with you the console of the system. You are pretty familiar with this, and as you can see, the telescope is already pointing somewhere, and the telescope is looking where you see the yellow circle, and we are just close to the feet of one of the twins Pollux, and there you have the asteroid I just reminded you, 2014 SC324. And I would like just to take an image to be sure that we have good weather and that we can see the asteroid. Then I will tell a few things about this object, but first of all let me check and let me be sure that everything is clear there, and that we see stars and basically the asteroid, friends. I think that we are there. This is normal because I'm just doing a very quick image, and let's start taking images right away. So we are going to see this asteroid, and this one was discovered about 1 month ago, and it is a 60 meters large asteroid, and it is already on its way back. That is the minimum encounter happened a few hours ago, and while we are speaking, this one is just leaving us, as I said, and it is already at a distance of about 600,000 kilometers, but this one is still pretty close, and I'm just making sure that you can see this flying rock very well. And here it is, the virtual telescope showing this little rock so close actually, but let me say that we never had a threat posed by this asteroid, no matter what you have read around, because I never understand why people are so scared by asteroids, even when they are just passing at a safe distance, as this did. The asteroid is visible in the very center of the image as a very sharp dot of light, and many stars are trailing in the background, and this is because our advanced telescope is just tracking the asteroid while it is moving fast among the stars. I just want to show you also the telescope making this amazing coverage. You can see here this one pretty well. It is the telescope you see on the right, and right now this object is flying very fast. In 10 minutes the asteroid will cover the apparent dimension of the lunar disk, so half a degree in 10 minutes. So this is going to move very fast. As you can see now, let me put this back, the asteroid is just apparently meeting a star, at least as you can see on our screen. Let me see if I just can adjust this output so that it can be more comfortable for you. Okay, so that at least you can still see other things happening. Look, the exposure here, as you can see, is just of 15 seconds, and in 15 seconds the asteroid is moving a lot, because those star trails, as I said, are quite long. But another thing you may want to note is that this asteroid is showing very well changing brightness, because it is rotating pretty fast around its axis, and doing that it is just reflecting largely variable light from the sun, and this is why you will see that while the telescope is doing the very same job, and we are using the very same parameters for taking images, sometimes you will see the asteroid very dim, and sometimes you will see the asteroid very bright. This is because it is rotating, and as the asteroid rotates, it is reflecting to us a variable light from the sun. When you have a bigger surface just in our direction, you will see much light. When the surface is just smaller, you will see the asteroid dimmer, and it is rotating, so this is happening all the time. And this is also something I find always very, very interesting when speaking about asteroids. So this is really a live scientific case with this object, which is now leaving us after it had a very close approach at about 1.4 lunar distances, more or less 120,000 kilometers. As I said, it was since the beginning a safe object, since it was discovered at Mount Lemmon last month. So basically we were waiting for it just to enjoy the spectacular, I would say, passage. You can see it is now getting dimmer and dimmer, and this is amazing because as I said, it is not obvious that an asteroid is showing so well and tracked so well, and this is miracle by the virtual telescope. But if you don't mind, just for our own future enjoyment, I just would like to make a little variation here on the images so that we will have a good movie for future references, because I would like to create a movie from all the images we are collecting here. Let me take even 10 seconds so that we will take more images. Now of course I changed the exposure time, so it is not easy to compare the old image you see now with the new coming, so what we'll see will be due to the change of exposure, but here we are. Okay, so let's track this for a while, and let me tell you something about asteroids, of course. As I say, this is a small one. We estimated it to have a diameter of 60 meters, just 60 meters. So you can easily imagine something large as this flying object. Well, an asteroid of this size just hitting the ground would be a serious problem for, I would say, a local area. This is not, of course, nothing serious to give us something terrible, even if this is significantly bigger, more or less 3 times bigger than the famous meteorite which exploded a couple of years ago. 1 year ago, it was February 2013 in Chelyabinsk in Russia. That was about 20 meters. This one is 3 times larger, but again, this will be able to create just a local damage. This is not, of course, an extinction case asteroid. And but nonetheless, this is not the case. I mean, just for giving you numbers and to provide you with some hints about the potential destroying factor of an asteroid of this size. But again, this asteroid is absolutely not hitting us. And to be honest, as I said, it already reached a few hours ago the minimum distance without nothing happening, and now it is on its way back around far from the Earth. So we are just tracking these and having fun without any risk. And asteroids are a lot in the solar system, and the first one was discovered just a bit more than 2 centuries ago. The first asteroid, Ceres, now basically a dwarf planet, was discovered by an Italian astronomer. It was Giuseppe Piazzi from Sicily in southern Italy, and that was just the first one. And now we know more than 500,000, and we have sometimes, for part of them, very well-known orbits, and in that case asteroids have a number, and I would say they are numbered, and they are often a name, while when the asteroid is still named with the year of discovery, with those letters and numbers following the year, without a final number, that is, the asteroid is still waiting for the orbit to be well determined. And in this case, this is obvious and normal because this asteroid was discovered last month. So we are far from having an accurate position. But let me underline how the telescope is tracking this in such a beautiful way, despite this is flying so fast this is just tracked perfectly. From time to time, as I said, you will see the asteroid fainter and brighter because of the rotation. We believe, we are sure, pretty sure, let me just leave talk this in a scientific way. We know that the asteroids are something important to understand the origin, evolution and the solar system, because it is the remnant of the very pristine material around the sun when everything started from the ancient nebula from where the sun itself was born, and later all the planets around the sun from that material that now it survives around the same star these days as asteroids or comets. And asteroids, at least a large fraction of them, are placed between Mars and Jupiter, and I would like just to show you this a bit better to you. This is a nice plot making clear what I'm saying. That is, if you count how many asteroids we have at some distance from the Sun, you see that the largest fraction of the asteroid is just sitting between Mars and Jupiter, and that is the main belt, as I said. But asteroids even closer than that main belt, and even at bigger distance from the Sun. In particular, those closer to the Sun than the main belt are potentially dangerous asteroids if they are coming too close to the Earth, and they are named near-Earth asteroids, and the one we are tracking right now is just one of them. It is a near-Earth asteroid, of course. And as I said, studying asteroids is very important to understand what happened in the solar system in the ancient times when all this play started, but also it is important to study asteroids because we really don't want that an undiscovered asteroid is en route of collision with our planet. This is why there are some surveys scanning the skies out there, and that is the case for the Mount Lemmon survey in Arizona, which discovered this object last month, as I said. This one is safely flying and surfing the stars. Right now, as I say, it is around 600,000 kilometers from us, and the telescope is just providing a beautiful coverage of this splendid object. As I said, all this is happening thanks to our most important telescope, and I must say that asteroids have been an important topic here at Virtual Telescope since the very beginning. I must say that as an astrophysicist, asteroids were my first and important fields of research when I started doing this job, and still I want to attention to these objects, and before starting this live event I tried also to collect some data hopefully useful to estimate the rotational period of this object, of this asteroid. So I will just look into this a bit better in the coming days. And I also want to show you another thing, because as I said, we know that there are a lot of asteroids, let's say more than 500,000 discovered so far, and a fraction of them requires a better attention because they are moving on orbits, bringing them in the inner solar system, called the near-Earth asteroids. And here you can see a plot going from 1980 to last year, but this is something very, very actual so far, and you can see how the number of near-Earth asteroids increased over the years since we started very special projects, very special programs, surfing the sky, scanning the sky out there, looking for those objects on those special orbits. And now we know a bit more than 10,000 asteroids in this class, that is near-Earth asteroids, of course. Not all the near-Earth asteroids are the same, because we have some subclasses describing how the object is moving compared to the Earth, how close that object is coming, how much of its orbit is inside that of the Earth. So there are other parameters to be taken into account if you really want to describe the near-Earth asteroid population a bit better. But from a general point of view, just let me say that looking at this plot, it is just enough, because as you can see, if you use on the horizontal axis the mean distance between the Sun and the Earth as a unit, that is number one, you see that the huge amount of asteroid here is sitting between Mars and Jupiter. Jupiter is at 5.2 on this plot, when you see also a small concentration of asteroids, and they are the Trojan asteroids. They are moving in a good relationship with Jupiter on the same orbit, but they are preceding and following the planet of 60 degrees if you consider the Sun as a reference for those angles. But just to say that the largest fraction of asteroid is placed and located in the main belt. But it is also important to note that the main belt has some, as you can see, forbidden regions, and they are the Kirkwood regions, and it is straightforward to show, if you use some mathematics there, that an asteroid placed where you see an empty space will be moving with a period in a simple relationship with Jupiter. In other words, to put this in a simple way, in a nutshell, I would say an asteroid at that distance will be accumulating perturbations by Jupiter and also for other reasons, but Jupiter here is the most important playing factor, to the point that it will be removed from that distance. This is why those exact distances are basically empty, friends. So it is nice to study these things, because you can learn a lot of things. This small corner of the universe where we live. But let me go back to show the asteroid again. You can see it is still there, very close to the center, and it is still moving. It is not stopping here just to take a coffee with us. It is just, as I say, leaving, and its distance is increasing, and the brightness over the hours and days will drop pretty fast. I must say that the maximum brightness for this object was reached yesterday. Let me see if I can just show you an image from yesterday. I would like just to try to see if I can do this right away. Here it is. We have a couple of images. I will try to show you both, so that you can even see this asteroid increased its brightness in a few days while So here it is, the first image showing the asteroid as observed a few days ago. It was October 20, okay? And the asteroid was pretty fainter than now, as you can see. Just adjusting the image, okay? But as the telescope was tracking it, again, you can easily see as a dot of light, while again the stars are sliding. But please note how faint the object is compared to what you see now. And there, in the image you are seeing now, the old one, I must say that the asteroid was much more fainter than you can evaluate here, because the exposure time was much longer. But that is happened on October 20, okay? And a few days later, I observed it with my friend Pierluigi Catalano, and the asteroid, just 3 days later, is showing much brighter and much faster, because we used basically similar parameters, and you can see here that this one was moving pretty faster now. And this was 1 day and a half earlier than today, so at the maximum brightness. Just to show you that We've been tracking this for some time, friends. Again, the telescope we are using is this one, the one on the right. This is a truly advanced telescope, and you can even use the telescope itself as well. You can even contribute to the virtual telescope project. As you can see, we offer a lot of experiences for free to enjoy the wonders of the heavens and so on. But of course, in order to survive, we need your help, and you may also be aware that we are truly looking to improve our possibilities, and this is why we are also running a fundraising campaign. And if you want to cooperate, if you want to support us, you will find everything on the website. But let me say that so far the virtual telescope succeeded providing first-rate experiences to those loving space, stars and the cosmos. And this is the telescope we are using now. Just a piece of art, let me say. But again, going to the console of the system, because after all, the asteroid is as busy. Here it is, always there. The telescope is amazingly perfect, doing its job, as I say. It is good for us that it is showing easily, because the weather was not the best at the beginning of the night. I had to cancel a session I had with some colleagues in Boston at the university. But fortunately, later, for now, for the asteroid, the clouds moved away. I'm always impressed to see the perfection of the system, tracking the asteroid with such accuracy and providing such a fine experience to everybody. I hope that you are having fun, and for those living in my very same time zone, I hope that this was well worth your waiting despite the very late time. But you know, the sky never asks you if that time for a given event is good for you, in this comfortable time for you. Things just happens out there, and if you want to enjoy them, you have to stay awake. And you know that happens all the time with astronomy. We are always learning something under the stars, even I would say important inputs for our life. Okay, the 60 meters asteroids 2014 SC324 is already leaving us from the closest approach, happened a few hours ago, and right now it is about 600, as I say, 600,000 kilometers. More or less, this is 1.6 lunar distances. This is, I would say, a small distance if you just compare these to the typical minimum distance between the Earth and an asteroid. But as I said many times, and as I will repeat a lot of times, of course, all this is just happening under very safe conditions. This asteroid was never a problem for us. We know since the very beginning that this one was going to be a close approach, nothing more than that. Just fun, as you can see. I had also a friend that wrote to me earlier, saying that last night, when the asteroid was expected to be brighter, it was actually peaking in brightness at magnitude 13.5, just for the astronomers out there to understand how bright it was at the maximum. And he wrote to me that despite he was looking with the 15 inches telescope, he was unable to locate it. And now I discovered why, because as I could expect from an asteroid so small of this size, this is a quite irregular object, and of course it is providing large variations of light in a short time. So my friend likely tried to observe it while it was showing the minimum surface to us, so it was at the minimum light. And I found that there is an amplitude of about 1.5 magnitudes, so it's easily to understand that it can be faint enough to be invisible even with a large telescope. This is why my friend, looking at that very moment, didn't find it, because it was observing it at the minimum of light in the rotation of this asteroid. A lot of fun, friends, when looking at these strange tumbling rocks out there. Again, this is running so beautifully, friends. Hope that you are having fun. All this is happening thanks to the Virtual Telescope project. We are very proud to provide this amazing coverage of course. All happening thanks to you, because it is your presence making the Virtual Telescope just amazing, and a leading facility, of course, bringing those fantastic experiences to you through the internet. I just want to show you again where we are looking. As I said, we are in the Twins constellation, typical winter one. You see also there is Orion on the right of this screen, and it is also Jupiter rising, at least here in Italy. So I think that after all we were lucky, and I must say that for me it's always as I said happy when starting an event with the clear weather here in Italy, because I must say that this year has been as for the weather in my country, in my country, but tonight we were truly lucky. I hope you are enjoying this. Let me show you again the telescope, of course. Here it is. And let me show again the asteroid. Here again. Not bad at all, with the asteroid sitting there with the accuracy of our robotic mount. And for this I want to thank and acknowledge Software Bisque for providing the wonderful Paramount robotic mount. And thanks to that amazing hardware, as well as also the fantastic planewave optics and the excellent big CCD camera, we are truly enjoying this in real time, because I will never tell you this enough. This is not a recorded events, friends. This is, as I said, a real-time experience. You can even check some parameters on the very bottom of the Sky X here. You see, for example, that the local time in Italy is 2:34. 25 of October, and the telescope is taking images back to back. I asked the telescope to take a few tens of them, because I really want to make a movie with a good number of frames, and this is something I will show you in the next days on the Virtual Telescope fan page on Facebook. So friends, I think that we had a nice sight of this, and so I'm going to end this live session. I hope that you had fun, and if you have found the Virtual Telescope worthwhile, I really would like to kindly suggest you to support the Virtual Telescope in buying a new imaging device. And for this you will find a crowdfunding campaign, and we want to thank all those who contributed so far, but you can even donate if you prefer, just using the usual donation option available on the Virtual Telescope website. And We will provide a fantastic, I will say, exclusive image of this asteroid to all the friends who will donate after this event. So, after all, I believe that we had, as I said, fun. At least I hope that you had fun as I had. And I wish you a very nice evening, a very nice day, always depending from the portion of this planet where you live. And at the Virtual Telescope, we always try to provide you with the finest cosmic experience. We observed asteroid 2014 SC324 live once again. What the Virtual Telescope can do for the community. And if you like this, please provide your support to our project. That's all from Gianluca Masi, Italy. It is also time for us to take some rest, to take some sleep. Astronomers sometimes to sleep, and this is my turn now. It is 2:36 a.m. So after this, I can say that we will truly have fun, my friends. So take care and keep in touch. And if you like, you can join the Telescope fan page on Facebook, and from there you will be notified about any new thing, any new event coming. So stay tuned, and you will live again soon for another amazing journey across the universe. That's all from Gianluca Masi. Good night. See you soon.